This is this is one of those videos we don't really know where to start, but let's start with, I guess, the studios that have closed in 2026. Just for starters, because there's been some news today. I don't know if you guys know about it, but in 2026 alone, Sansa Games, creators of Asgard's Wrath and Asgard's Wrath 2, who are also apparently developing a Batman Arkham Shadow sequel, were closed this year. Armature Studio, the developers behind Resident Evil 4, the VR Quest port, which I think was absolutely fantastic, they've got closed. Twisted Pixel, creators of Wilson's Heart. What was the other one they did? The street fighting game. You know, it's like Streets of Rage in VR. It's pretty cool actually. And most recently, Deadpool VR. They were closed, and then Camouflage were also decimated by Meta. I don't think the studio's closed, but all their future projects are on hold, and the team, as I said, is devastated. And then End Dreams had a multi studio restructuring. So there's three parts, as far as I know, to End Dreams. So you've got Near Light, Compass, and Elevation. And as far as I know, Elevation are the guys behind Reach. I thought Near Light had something to do with Reach as well. But obviously, Reach didn't do that well, even though they're still doing updates to it. And I do want to check it out. But as of today, Vertigo Games, one of their studios in Amsterdam, has closed. Now, the team behind Metro Awakening was the Amsterdam Studio. And I actually went to visit this studio, and I think their past games were one of the games from Halo. I can't remember, but they're obviously very talented. I think Metro Awakening is an excellent VR game. So Vertigo Games aren't finished. They're owned by, I think it's Plyon or Playon. Don't really know how to pronounce it, but that's who they're owned by now. And they've got lots of money. So they bought Vertigo, and I think they're going to keep them afloat. But I think it's this company that have shut that part of Vertigo Games, obviously, to deal with what is happening in VR at the moment. And what is happening, and literally someone wrote this on my X, what is happening? People aren't buying games. It's as simple as that. Like, you could say lots of different things, you know, Meta pulling funding. At the end of the day, it needed funding because there's not enough people buying the games in the first place. You only need funding if you haven't got the money in there. You know, all right, fair enough, you get an investment to do your first game, but the sales from that game should carry on forward. Now, in Vertigo's case, what I think happened was they blew up with the original Arizona. And I just want to say again, I think Vertigo are a fantastic studio. And I think they've done some amazing games. So I think they blew up with Arizona. And that money allowed them to reinvest back into the company, as you would. But I also think along the way, I mean, they've done, what else have they done? They've done Seventh Guest, Arizona Sunshine Remake, Arizona Sunshine 2. They published Hellsinger. What else have they done, dude? As I said, the Seventh Guest VR, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. They've probably done others, but we don't know what they're making next. Metro Awakening, obviously, they done last. Oh yeah, and how can I forget Thief? They even done Thief, Legacy of Shadows. And I'm just kind of thinking, to me, it just shows where VR is on people's priorities. Now, if you're subscribed on this channel, chances are you've watched my review videos. I help you make a decision on whether you're purchasing something. You're probably already like the hardcore audience. If you're watching me looking for reviews, you're not just a stroller by. You know, you're like you're not coming here necessarily for entertainment, even though I try and make those kind of videos sometimes. You're here because you want to know if something is good to buy it. As there's other channels out there who would make a video just to entertain, right? But I kind of think to myself, if you're on this channel, you're already buying games. But outside of this channel, it seems to me that VR games just aren't selling. You know, they're just not selling very well. Someone the other day mentioned that Resident Evil 4 on PSVR 2 has now just hit 300,000 players. So only 300,000 people in the world have played Resident Evil 4 in VR, roughly. That is not good. You know, this guy made a post like it was a good thing. It's not a good thing. Not really. Developers are struggling. This is probably 2026 is probably going to end up being one of the worst years in VR history, you know, because it had a foundation of going upwards. It was trending upwards at 2022, 2023, mid 2024, you know, where these games were already being developed and invested in. Like December 2024 was an excellent end. You know, we had some great games, Behemoth, Alien, I don't know, what other game? We had loads of games, Batman. But since then, it's gone down, you know, it's gone downhill. And there's a number of things we could say about this, past mistakes. You know, so many that I'm not going to go into. I don't feel I want to go into it. But if we just look at how things are right now, we don't know what Meta are going to do next. We never know. There's no way anyone out there knows what Meta are doing next. I don't even think Meta know what they're doing next. They literally just change direction depending on how they feel. I hope they don't walk away from VR. You know, as much as people are like, oh, I hate Meta, they've done so much for VR. Admittedly, it all seems to be a bit for nothing at the moment, unless they go back in again, you know, roll the dice again with a Quest 4. I'm not sure how what's going to happen in the future. And then we've got Steam Frame. I think a lot of people are excited for it. I think the cost of it is a big worry for a lot of people. It's a big worry for me because I'll tell you the number I'm hearing, and you might not want to hear this, and I want you to not think of this as gospel. We don't know. For I'm watching Summer Games Fest tonight because I think something might happen. Something might be announced. But anyway, the number I've heard is $1,299 all in. You know, that's for the top tier model. I mean, it has expandable memory as well, like an SD card slot. But yeah, I've heard. I haven't heard about the 256 model. I've heard the 1 terabyte model is going to be $1,299. As I said, that isn't verified. That's just from conversations I'm having with developers about stuff. That's the number people are expecting, and I don't know how people are going to feel about it. You know, and when I speak to other people as well in the space, not just one, two, three, four, the number of headsets they hope to sell minimum is around 2 million. Will that be enough to move the needle? We're talking PSVR2 numbers again. You know, will that be enough? I guess it's only really enough if you sold 1 million copies, for example, of a game, then you're good. But outside of that, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm sitting here. I'm not reviewing anything at the moment. You know, in fact, the game I'm supposed to be reviewing, I've had to kind of hand back and say, like, you need to fix this stuff before I do a review. You know, we've got like 4 or 5 days, try and get this sorted, you know, because these guys can't afford playtesting, I guess, you know, they can't afford marketing. Yeah, it's in a weird place, you know, and from like I've given everything up really to do this. And admittedly, it was kind of an accident that I stepped into this full time. And I know that doesn't sound right, but it was kind of an accident. A developer offered me a dream job. I've been on the railway 20 years. They kind of assured me it was a good thing. I went for it. COVID lockdown finished. They got rid of me. So I ended up just being here all the time doing this full time. Um, I've made some good money, but not off YouTube. Like I make money from doing playtesting and I've done marketing. But on YouTube, for what I do, it covers my bills. This month it might not cover my bills because it's summertime. So views go down in summer, which is really harsh. And another thing I wanted to bring up, and you know, fair play if you're still here, is creators are leaving the VR space, you know? It's kind of a vicious cycle, what we're seeing. Creators are going to stop making content because people aren't watching it. It's as simple as that. There's no other way to put it. Same as developers aren't making money because people aren't buying games. Content creators are going to start making trend videos. I am cat, gorilla tag, all those things because it benefits them and it benefits that game. That's cool. Like that is a great relationship if you just want to support one game. But that's why, I mean, look at the store. Look at the Quest store at the moment. Actually, look at the PSVR2 store. The biggest selling game was I Am Cat. On Quest, because Gorilla Tag's not there, and UG and other games, they could do. I mean, once they're seeing I Am Cat is selling well, if I was those developers, I would consider going across, but we don't know the numbers. Developers will know the numbers. But content creators, just from a personal perspective, I should just talk about myself. I can't describe to you the feeling of spending a day making a video that no one watches. It's like constantly hitting the ground and getting back up again, you know? And I've been doing it for like 7 or 8 years. Luckily, I still love this. Absolutely love it. But it's tough, you know? I can't survive. Like I made a video 2 days ago supporting a ex Echo Pro player, right? Echo VR Pro player. He's making a game, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. This guy loves VR so much. He's now making his own game about salvaging in space. And actually being in space was brilliant. He got the arm rockets, the wrist rockets, should I say, from Echo VR. It felt great. 5,000 views in 48 hours. Probably £5. I can't survive on £5 a day, you know. Um, and that's the key. I'm hanging in there, you know. I'm hanging in there because I'm very lucky that developers want to use me for other things, you know, like working on their games, helping them make games, like ExoShock, for example. But purely for YouTube content creators, it's really savage out there, really savage. And even I don't want to say any names, but even some of the biggest ones will soon transition to flat screen because the only reason they probably did VR or did it a lot is because they got sponsorships for VR games, and now the marketing and sponsorships are dried up. It's just a vicious cycle where everything's going to fall down. I don't know it's going to fall down. I don't know it, and that's the real thing, you know, that keeps me hopeful. Um, and I think so. You know, I did a video of a 007, a review of 007 the other day, and people are like, "Oh, VR is so dead that Gamertag VR is doing flat screen game reviews." If you look on the channel, I've always done flat screen games now and again. If something interests me, or a console, I did a Switch 2 review. I did a PlayStation Portal review. That was actually one of my fastest growing videos. It was like 50K in a day of like, and then it just stopped. It's almost like YouTube go, hold on a minute. You're not meant to be here. That's happened a few times actually. I don't mind, but I still want to do what I want to do. You know, even if the channel name is Gamertag VR. But still, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what's next for VR. I don't know. I don't know. I think 2026 still has some good games. You know, I think I made a video, it had like 10 in it. There's probably some I forgot. There's probably some we don't know about. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think you're going to see content creators making less content, which means it looks like there's less interest because whether people like it or not, in today's world, YouTube is a big factor and a big trendsetter. Like if I play a game, someone might go, I didn't know about that. I'm going to now play it. If you take that away, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen, honestly. And I've never really questioned it so much. And I'll be here as long as I can, you know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Just like Vertigo. I mean, it's crazy, you know. They are one of the biggest players. They've got some of the best selling games, and even they're having to cut an arm off at the moment. And there was someone else who made a comment. They were like, I think they'd only just got into VR this year, and they're just seeing the negatives. They've come in, and everyone's like, everything's great beginning of 2026, and then they've just seen bam, 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 back to back to back negative stuff. Oh man, it's crazy. And the other thing I keep hearing from people is that all VR will end up being is for mods, UEVR, for example. The problem is, and the reason I never used to do many mod videos is one, they were hard to capture, to be honest. I needed a really good PC to capture them. Two, they're not always easy to install, but as we know, they're getting easier. Three, it only adds cash to successful studios already, you know, and they don't give anything back. For example, Resident Evil 9, yeah, is really good in VR. It's so close to being a native VR game. It's unbelievable. I could happily play that game from start to finish. But all that does is put more money back in Capcom's pocket. Alternatively, you've already bought the game anyway, so it feels like it doesn't cost you anything. But VR developers don't get any success from that. And Capcom still might not want to support VR after that. They might see how many videos and thousands of views. I don't know, one of my Instagram posts, which I don't really use Instagram, like it's 350,000 views. I've nearly got 100,000 plus on YouTube. That's just me, let alone everyone else who's probably covered it. Channels I don't even know of playing this game in VR. And they would see that and they're probably thinking, oh, well, you know, it's cool. Brilliant. Enjoy it, you know? And yeah, that's why I didn't do VR mods for like a year solid because developers are the ones that need the money and it's not going that way, you know? It would go to someone like Luke Ross. who is making mods. Admittedly, I'm not taking anything away from this guy. He should make money for his work. That's cool. I don't agree with the paywall stuff. I'm not going to talk about that. But developers are the ones struggling the most. And yeah, with Vertigo, it just seems to be getting worse. It just seems to be getting worse. I'm still optimistic. It might not seem it, but I am. But I am worried. I am worried about the future of it. And if you're not, fair play. And I don't want you to think I'm being negative. I'm just telling you what I see from this like overview. Because I do all platforms. And I'm not here to pretend everything's great or rosy. It doesn't help anyone. I'm telling you the things I've been told, the things I'm hearing, the things I'm feeling. And after State of Play, for example, no PSVR 2 games, we're now come to a point where I don't think anyone's even disappointed. They're like, of course, they're not going to show any VR on that. People don't want to see it. I'm like, wow. I preferred it when people were angry or disappointed, but it's become the norm. So yeah, gutted for Vertigo. I thought they're a very talented team. I'm very excited for Steam Frame, and let's just see where this goes. But if anyone wants to know why this is happening, it's because people aren't buying games, or there's not enough people in VR to buy the games. So yeah, people aren't buying games. But I don't know if I'm going to upload this. I'm going to run through it. Probably not. There's a bit of personal stuff there, isn't there? Really. But anyway, it's a Friday. Look after yourselves. If I do post this, let me know in the comments what you're playing, what you're enjoying. Funny enough, someone said about Vertigo Games, they're playing After the Fall suddenly. Quite a few people were playing After the Fall. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to check that out. And that's what I was going to do today. And then this bloody thing happened. I was like, oh my God. What the hell, dude? I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. But anyway, look after yourselves. Have a good one.